Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you America's top foundational health coach, Dr. Dody.
Hey there, I'm Dr. Dody Bear. I want to welcome you to the fourth season, fourth season of Mindset Monday. Who knew? Who knew that we would be here yet on our fourth season? 4 is a foundational number. 4 is what you do 4 quarters of a football game. If you missed those Buffalo Bills and Baltimore Ravens last night, you had to wait until the fourth quarter. Well, you're not going to have to wait too much longer for what you're going to hear today on Mindset Monday. It's where we start every single day. Why? On a Monday, everybody says, "Oh, Monday. Oh, what are we going to do?" Well, I can say it happens in the mind, just like The Secret. They say it's all in the mind. Think about it. Ladies and gentlemen, words and thoughts. Starts with the thought, it is the word. And the word was when our creator of all created this world with a thought. And then he said, "Let there be light." Well, there's going to be light here today on Mindset Monday. It is absolutely my delight when I can bring to you the 6 pillars of foundational health, beginning with spiritual, then mental. But then we go to emotional, physical, financial, and social. And this couple that I have here today, they become my social family. They become an extension of where we're going and how we began just 1.5 years ago after our retreat and symposium in Boca, when Dr. Jim and I really launched our training portion of Health-A-Pedia. But oh my goodness, I forgot to introduce myself. If you are new to this broadcast, are you new to Mindset Monday? I can just say, I am Dr. Dody Bear. Dr. Dody, who knew the manifestation after 4 decades in private practice, being a service provider, holistic nutritionist, and practitioner. I didn't have any email expertise except to check my emails. No website, no nothing, but people found me through the manifestation of needing what I offered. Then COVID hit. Didn't it change for a lot of people? That mindset was so important. And what happened to me was I knew that I had an absolute so important to have something that made all the difference. And it was creating something from brick and mortar to click and order, as my coach and mentor, Les Brown, says. Just know it begins with manifestation. This beautiful couple that's become my family has become second to none. As we say, you get to know people. I love the quote that my partner, co-founder, my before teacher, Dr. James Maranaka, says, that you are to be cautious with people you don't know, kind to those that you do, open to those that are in your circle, but loving and vulnerable to those you love. I feel like Cristina and Tony Dody are just all of the above. We've gone quickly from total stranger to being family and being vulnerable. I love this couple. And it all began with manifestation. Truly, truly. Dr. Jim and I said we would create Health-A-Pedia, which we did, outrageously successful with our first book 2 years ago. Now it'll be the 23rd when I fly off to Greece. It'll be the 2nd anniversary. I had PhD after my name, but it had another 3 initials. Didn't know, and you know what the S stands for. Oh, well, but it was passion. It was my image. It was that whole thing that I really believed we could do. And we said, we're going to take this pedestrian message about health and to an event. And we did that in February. This beautiful couple, they had some scheduling conflicts, but the next thing I know, I was at their house with my husband then, and we became fast friends. That's how it moves. And I just want to give you my piece before I bring them up after we'll have a quick commercial break for manifestation. Who knew that I would take my absolute beautiful business practice and then bring it out to the world? Who knew that I would be on TV? Who knew it would be the 4th season of Mindset Monday here as we start in September? But I call this manifestation because from this side of glory, y'all, I am a woman. Okay. I am a woman. So let's call it a manifestation. This is what I was privileged, an excerpt of this to deliver in the Hamptons. I'm sure you saw my poster when I said, I'm speaking in the Hamptons, not the Hampton Inn. It was because of this beautiful couple. And what can I say? When we were at the Hamptons, as we're talking about manifestation, you're going to get to meet Tony and Cristina in just a moment. You're going to hear how we created this new book, as you see, quintessential quotes and quips for healthy living because of this beautiful couple and how we're just manifesting this all together. As I said, it's my whoa manifestation. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever had something hit you out of the blue? Well, that's when I found my gift for health coaching. Got a phone call from my mom. Ring, ring, ring. Mama? Hey, Mama, how are you, Mom? She said, Jody, I'm not well. Oh, no, Mama, what is going on? Jody, they say I have cancer. I have 6 weeks to live. At that point, that was whoa manifestation. I had one toddler and a newborn in my hand. I absolutely made time and destiny meet together. That's that providential thing, and miracles happen. I was in Montana in my little hometown absolutely the next day, and I whoa manifested the book from Edgar Cayce, the iconic centuries-old protocols that gave my mother not 6 weeks to live, but 3.5 years to live, way beyond her 6 weeks to live diagnosis with quality of life. And I was hooked on holistic health. And I was hooked on her last words when she looked up to me and said, Jody, give others hope the way you've given it to me. And I knew that I had my calling. I had created my whoa manifestation. It was years later that I was in the carpool. And you've heard this story, and I'll abbreviate it. You've heard that before on our broadcasts. And I was picking up that newborn who's now 4.5 from preschool. He was awfully cute with that blonde hair. He had those just aquamarine eyes, but they were filled with tears. And he said, Mommy, am I always going to be sad? Well, I booked it in to the headmaster, knocked on the door, and I just said, what is going on? And she said, you see, your son is a disturbing element. See, my son had said, they said I'm a scurvy elephant, Mommy. Is that because I need vitamin C? No, a disturbing element. He's got a diagnosis, ADHD. As you know, Les Brown says, your diagnosis is not your prognosis. And I said back to the headmaster, oh, no, 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 no. He has no ADHD. He's just me with testosterone. I knew I had that thing inside of me. You know, that thing that you know just must be birthed? That is your manifestation. And as you know, listen to previous broadcasts, I manifested Hulda Clark into my life. I whoa manifested when she was living in Atlanta from a TV show that was in when I knew I had to do something that clicked. And when Hulda Clark said on the TV show with Phil Donahue, perhaps these children do not have ADHD. Maybe they just need to grow into their brilliance. And she said she lived in Alpharetta, Georgia. I was up there, no GPS, no NEPS, no anything possible, except I had that whoa manifestation. I was going to do something for my son. I saw every person that looked like they were vegetarian, a woman who didn't dye her hair, and people who had sensible shoes. Found Dr. Hulda Clark after 3 days. It's kind of like arising from not only 3 days, my son's trajectory changed with his life because I manifested this in his life. And frankly, I was a beautiful time the next 3 years when I was able to sit at Hulda Clark's feet, be a mentee of hers, where I wrote the infamous gold card. And the reason we were with Health-A-Pedia, the reason we were in Boca, and now we're going to Greece yet in 2.5 weeks. And it said, I will write the PDR, which is the physician's desk reference, the Eastern version of the PDR. And that's what I manifested to do. You see, life's milkshake moments, that great show that's going to be on with Dr. John Kennedy. And we're going to be talking, Dr. John Kennedy, neuroplastician, this Thursday, is an outgrowth of this couple. It's like everything. And if you go ahead and you're not sure how you're going to do it, but what? Maybe it's your why. Just know you need to know where you are at. Where you at? Body, spirit comes from the mind for your manifestation if you're a man, or woe manifestation if you're a woman. And you're going to hear today about this manifestation dynamic duo as soon as we have our first commercial break from our sponsor, Dame Doria Cordova of Money and You. Dame Doria Cordova, if you're not with us in Greece, well, just come on and be with her. Tony and Cristina have gone. It is the most experiential of its kind for 45 years. Take a look, take a feel, take a listen to Dame Doria Cordova. Their next event will be in San Diego, the 17th through the 21st. And I'll be putting up your discount code in just a minute. Let's look.
Money and You is the longest running entrepreneurial, experiential, transformational training in the world. And we have been impacting the lives of over 200,000 graduates from over 85 countries since 1979. I am Doria Cordova and I own Money and You. And I would like to invite you to join us to the next program where you will have an opportunity to be with a group of people that will all be immersed in experiential games where you have an opportunity to clear any blocks that you may have to really creating wealth and doing good. But at the same time, learn the business success model, which really immerses you into a conversation about leverage. Leverage is key in creating wealth and doing good. And we have the results to show that this program works. People like Tony Robbins, Robert Kiyosaki of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Ben Cohen of Ben and Jerry's, and many others have attended this program and changed their lives and created new industry and are some of the most well-known change makers in the world. Thank you. Aloha. Bye-bye.
Make sure that you check out Money and You. Come to Money and You in San Diego next week. Then come with us in Greece. We have 2 spots left, but this is where you can get that discounted code on the bottom. So let's get on with our beautiful guest. Should we and shall we? It is just absolutely with such delight and just honoring when I see these two move. I can really say that it gives me help and hope, even though I know I'm going to be here till 120. I know that we're in really good hands in this next generation when you have a duel like Cristina and Tony Dody. They're a couple, like I say, Tony has 2 first and last names, and Cristina has 2 last names. It's 5. It's the Chinese traditional method. Everything, let's give me 5. But Tony is an absolute expert marketer, brander, digital creator, and visionary. He ran the NASDAQ. Well, when he was just in his young 20s, but he still looks like he's in his young 20s. I guess it's probably because of the health and everything that he does when it comes to traditional Chinese medicine. But this young lady, that is his, as he calls her, MBW, my beautiful wife, Cristina, is an absolute corporate event planner, most organized person on planet Earth. They are so yin and yang. They are perfectly met. And you're going to hear about manifestation. Cristina even used that word in our book when she wrote her chapter in the social pillars. I got it marked, the little pink thing, The Essence of a Woman, when we debuted that last year. But they're a perfect blend, yin and yang, visionary, and systemization all come in and blended into one. A millennial, magnificent couple, and it is with great delight and honor that I bring. It's a business acquaintance, they're colleagues, but part of my family to the stage. Welcome, Cristina and Tony, to our Manifestation 4th season. Here we are. Hi, guys.
Hi. Hello. How are you?
I am so awesome. And you always say that, how are you? Well, how could I not be fantastic? Because I'm with the two of you.
I love that. I love your background. Greece is looking pretty good.
Well, it's blue and azure blue. Yeah, that's what we got going on. You know, we don't have to walk down that Ramilly Gorge. It's the largest gorge. It's Europe's version of the Grand Canyon. It's 11 miles downhill. And you see that little thing, it's called Little Hotel back there. That's us. So get ready. Yes,
recreate and create.
Recreating Crete. Now that you mentioned that, Tony, I'm just going to bring this up. You know, we blues, Cristina, we kind of love our little logos. Do you love our logo?
So pretty. So pretty. That's beautiful.
Yes, because we are really recreating us all from the bottom on up in that Maslow's triangle. But let's go back, and I want to start with honoring Tony. We're going to start in this middle because Cristina, you've let me into your home just like I'm part of the family, which is amazing. And I was going to say, and I've loved you since the first little bit, since I'm a vegetarian, but I've got a confession to make. I really did take a bite of your meatballs. They're fantastic. Okay. But the deal is here I am back at the ranch this time last year, sitting on your couch. Now, Tony, you make great introductions, but you basically had my phone and you said, here, talk to him. That's when you trust somebody. And that's how I met Eric Zender. And I just want to give Eric a lot of just real praise and just everything that he has done and what he has done. We did Beauty and the Best, which was his ridiculously successful. But because you said, here's my phone. Okay. That was a beautiful book. It is still Amazon. You know, I could just tell you, you can be an Amazon bestseller for 1 minute. But he has been there for now almost 9 months, which is really something else. But then we had the pleasure because of, as I'm going to call it, the power of this dynamic couple. When I say you, it's you together. Tony, you wouldn't be half the man without Cristina now, would you?
It's true. She's the yin and my yang for sure.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah. And Cristina, back and forth. So then we have the honor of doing this book for the inauguration because of you two. That's how we're going to call it. It's YouTube, but it's you two. And when we met Dr. Jerome Corsi, President Trump's right-hand man of 45 years. Do you know, Cristina and Tony, when I mentioned this book, he remembered getting this at the inauguration.
Wow. Amazing.
And it's on our coffee table. So you never know where that manifestation is going to go. But here we are putting out his first latte book, as Eric calls it. We've gone from, I guess I'll just write a pedestrian version of my dissertation. Beauty and the Best is number 2, our 2 anthologies. And this is Eric's book. I've got an announcement to make. It has now been, Tony and Cristina, it's been out now for 2 hours. It's already Amazon #1 bestseller.
Wow. Amazing. We haven't bought our copy yet. Incredible.
Well, and you didn't. What's wrong with you guys? You haven't bought your. I love this because it's the latte book is a perfect brew, as we say. Quintessential quotes and quips, quotes to emote, quips to equip you in all 6 pillars. And when you can absolutely, as Dr. Bola Ashimoto, you met him at the UN when he called me Dr. Hope. And he said it's a nourishing blend of wit, wisdom, and wellness. Each page delivers a dose of inspiration that uplifts the spirit, reminds us that health is just not about the body, but the heart and the mind as well. Whether you're a patient, caregiver, health professional, or a health enthusiast, this book is a refreshing companion for the journey to wholeness, kind of like your coffee brew. How about you? So I just want to give Eric a big round of applause and thank you, Tony, for saying, here, grab the phone. This is Eric. So how does that make you feel, Tony and Cristina, to know that we've not done one, but two together?
I mean, look, Eric is, I'm actually, just so you know, I wear my heart on my sleeve, as you know. I'm recording this for Eric with this other phone. You know, I do a phone with the phone, right? So Eric's amazing. He's one of the most
Eric.
incredible.
Hi.
Hey, Eric. One of the most incredible talents. Eric, here we are. We're on live on the beautiful show of Dr. Dody Bear, talking about you. You know, what I love about Eric has tens of thousands of quotes. He asked me not to say the real amount, but tens of thousands.
25,000.
Yeah. And there's actually more, he said, too, believe it or not, that are tucked away, right, to be released. And to be able to take them all with a talent like you and start getting them out to the world, I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, if you look at, like, you know, pretty much any of the greats throughout history, even King Solomon, right, they did not have that many quotes. So he's considered literally the greatest quote writer ever. And he writes them every day. I mean, all the way up to a presidential level, he gets them. It's incredible. We love him. We love him very much. So Eric, big shout out to you. Congratulations. And Jody, thank you. And I love that we're just a small part of everyone's success.
Well, but you're a big part of mine, the two of you. I'm just saying, and then Monday, because there's so much that you could be doing, vision and systems. It's kind of, you know, the BS, your vision and systems. So how in the world, number one, what we're going to do here, just a little bit with this, how did you just say, did you wake up one morning and say, Tony to Tony, manifestation, I'm going to become a movie producer? How did that happen?
Okay, so it's a great question. So this is a me question, right? First? Yes?
Yes,
okay,
yes,
cool.
yes.
Okay, cool. All right, I'm just making sure we're following protocol. No, you know me with the mic, right? So, you know, it's one of those things that when I was younger, I was 19 years old. And it's funny, I sat with you don't even know this, right? I don't even think you know this, honey. My dear friend, Rob Motley, I love very much. And he was going to school for film. His stepmother is Luann Rice. Luann's one of the best-selling authors of all time. Multiple New York Times best-selling author, several books turned into movies, especially this time of year, Hallmark, Cloud Nine, Blue Moon, right? Very, very big movies in that space, right? On ABC, Hallmark. And she said to me one day, we're sitting, and it was in Charlie Brown's restaurant. I don't know if they're down here, but up north. And I'm young, you know. She said, if you had to think right now, what would you want to do? Like, what would you want to do career-wise? And I literally came to mind. I said, you know, movies and books. I want to help people. And it just came to mind like that. I had no background, no experience, anything like that. I got involved in.
Okay, so Tony, you had an initial after your name too. It was DKS. You just knew you had a passion.
Yes, 100%. You know, and it, you know, many years later in 2014, see, the journey was basically I got involved in direct sales. I got involved in, you know, marketing and, you know, nutraceuticals, and I met some of my heroes, Kurt Angle and Hogan at the time.
I'm going to interrupt. Okay, you know, I'm going to interrupt for a reason and interject. Okay, Cristina, does Tony get involved in things when he goes in? Does he get a little involved? How involved does he get?
He's as involved as humanly possible.
Okay, so you know, I'm going to give you a heart. It's a beautiful thing. So you get involved and you meet Kurt Angle and the Princess of Siam. Keep going.
Yeah, and all my heroes growing up, and I got to work with them. I got to do the wellness and nutrition. We got to create an anti-bullying charity together, all the way up to Schwarzenegger's event. Got to work with Arnold and all those guys, all my heroes. And I kind of became known for knowing a lot of people, right? And just filling the gaps with what people knew, right? You know this. Simon wrote the book. It starts with why. I say it starts with what. It's fueled by your why, right? The why that makes you cry. It happens with how, but the who gives you the how, right? At the end of the day, the who gives you the how. It's always a person of specialized knowledge, right? That can fill a gap. And when you look at, again, the baseball diamond, right? There's not 9 pitchers. There's 9 very good individuals that are very different, right? In their skill sets, right? Mm-hmm. And you might just be one Golden Glove shortstop away, right? From winning a World Series together, and you all win. It's the team. So I get a call in 2014 from a guy that had heard of me through some articles I did with Kurt and, you know, one of my other buddies who was a best-selling author. And he was from CNBC, and he was worked on Shark Tank and The Profit, some of these bigger shows, the NASDAQ Swap Box, all that. And asked me, to basically put together a company with him, right? He said, I know you know a lot of people. And he said he loved the production side, but he wasn't great with people. And I knew everything on the front end.
I'm just going to say, Tony,
Yeah.
Tony.
Yeah, please.
Okay. You don't know a few people, you know a gazillion people. So you had this vision. Let me just wrap this together here. You had this vision. You had a DKS, didn't know it was inside of you, but you knew there was something. It's like what Dr. Nefertina Serrano says, when time meets destiny, miracles happen, or miracles are manifest. And that's exactly what happened. And so continue on.
So there's a saying, this network marketing, Jim Rohn, right? Ignorance on fire is better than knowledge and ice, right? When you have that fire in your belly, when the facts big, when the dream's big enough, the facts don't matter. Dexter Yeager, right? So it's one of those things that, right? I knew I had the heart to help people. I felt that as a little child. I knew that. I just didn't know what vehicle. And what's really cool now, what we get to do, jump into 2014, we start building a company. You fail forward, right? You learn, you fail forward. I got to be mentored by some great people. Doug O'Brien, who was Tony Robbins' right-hand man for about a decade, master trainer, got to work and, bring some people on the Dr. Oz show. My friends, the Mikowskis and so forth, that was the producers with them. And I got to be around these amazing human beings, right? And you just learn, and you grow, right? And so what I learned is that anybody at any level, doesn't matter who they are, if they're an Olympic gold medalist, or if they're a billionaire, or the person next door, and sometimes it's the same person, everybody needs something in their life. It goes back to like what Orrin Woodward spoke about, the F's of life. Your faith, your finances, your family, your fun time, which is you time, your friends, your fitness, which is obviously your health, your following, right? Who you serve while you're here, and your footprint, the legacy you leave behind, right? And I believe life is a balance.
You know that I've got you down. Do you know that you're the F man in Greece? Because I was going to put you both in a social pillar of how that. So no, that's for Cristina and I. That's our girl time. So you're the F man in finances. Those when you were in Little Rock. When you were in Little Rock and we had our panel for our 20th anniversary with Princess Murati Nogalana at her symposium in July, I loved the Fs. And you're the F man now. Okay, because you're fantastic. Okay, so bring this all together. And I've got a question for Cristina.
Yeah. So no, just to tie this together, it really comes down, what we do is industry agnostic. Yes, we're producers. Yes, we're working on 12 movies. Yes, I believe we're going to talk about some of them now. Some of them you're co-starring in, right? And it's one of those things that it's really about putting the resources together, person A and person B for project C. That's what it's all about. And people, I think they don't realize, if you look in your phone, you have the proverbial salad, right? You have the onions, you have the tomatoes. Put them together, right? And then you're the, the celery. You're the salad, right? Together, you all work together. And there's no such thing as competition, only collaboration. And you get to manifest it, which I think we're going to jump into in a little bit.
Oh, and it totally. So Cristina, how does it feel to be the systems and the foundation with the man who has a gazillion ideas and a gazillion contacts in your phone? How does it feel?
So as far as how it feels,
for you, yes.
Yeah, well, there's two things. There's one thing where it's not for the weak of heart.
You stay busy.
So, the amount of things, that I handle that, I'm usually handling in the background. People have no idea,
Right.
And, both him and I usually, in most cases, tend to make it look seamless, right?
Because you're like a duck, and underneath, you're just paddling like crazy. Yes.
Yeah. But it also feels good to accomplish, so many things. Like, it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of late nights, but at the same time, what we get to create is really amazing. And sometimes we sit down and we're like, if I had just told somebody what we just did together, like, they would probably be like, you're lying.
And it took you a year. Oh no, it was just a week, and a walk in the park. But it's true, because you're a pro. It's because you are a pro, Cristina. You're a pro.
it's really just working together, and it's a really good feeling to be able to do what we do. And again, not for the weak of heart.
If I can say, and it's one of these things that we complete each other very well. I'm very air. As you can see, I pull the ideas down, right? I truly believe anything's possible. I believe we all have that gift, right? If one can, all
But
can.
you're
Keep
air
doing it.
and she's earth.
And she
She's
is
earth.
ground. She's earth.
Yes.
She's so grounded. So she will take the things and solidify. Even the Hamptons, we end up getting, obviously the honor of going to speak for now the third event, but the second time in the Hamptons of this particular group. Big shout out to Andrea, Matthew Rockefeller, J. Bradley Hilton, some of the most successful families of all time, to
And
go up
Tony,
there
Dody,
and them
the
to
more,
know. And she puts it
yes,
together on the back end. No, go ahead, please. Go ahead.
yes, because we can't go through all the litany of everybody on the phone because of time. Okay, so
Yeah.
so let's stay in this, because you're air, she's earth, and you put it
Yep.
together and it blooms. You
Yeah.
create something of beauty, whether it's a tree, a flower. We go and plant a tree for Princess Maradi, and what it just grows and blooms. And
Yep.
and usually couples. And I remember what Dr. Jim said. It's one thing to be married. It's quite enough to be married and be in business. This, ladies and gentlemen, is quite a unique and amazing couple this way. It doesn't happen very easily and very often that way. And you do make it look easy. And I remember, Cristina, when I said, and I just wanted you, because this was my vision from Hulda Clark, that I was going to, how I closed her, Tony, as you know, what if I'm the person that's supposed to take your vision long after you're gone?
Sure.
And now 42 years later, it's still a part, and honored to be a part of the Hulda Clark Legacy Foundation, because I asked, and I knew, Cristina, that you were supposed to be in this book. Had you ever written, Cristina? Had you ever written?
Never in my life. I mean, I've written for, like when I was younger, I used to enjoy writing. I wrote a song that I copyrighted. It was really good too. I wrote, a poem that got published when I was really young, and I won an award. So I did write things when I was younger, but I haven't written a story about myself, really.
And here you are. And now I know why you call her MBW. Look at those legs, Tony.
I've seen them a time or two.
I had a great photographer.
Yes, that was my referral, I might say. But it's true that because you trusted, this is collaboration. There's no competition, as you said, Tony, just collaboration. And this was and when I said, Cristina, just please, I've never done anything. I remember that conversation. I said, I'm like the Wizard of Oz. Follow the yellow brick road. Follow the yellow brick. And you did. And now you're going to be on a reel and speaking. And this is your beautiful quote: love, a manifestation of your mind. It becomes your reality. I'm just saying, you got to buy the book. Here's the QR code after a year. Go get the book, because a significant portion of the book, The Essence of a Woman, Unleash the Feminine Soul, goes to feed hungry children. So just give a little snippet on that manifestation, on how you brought the prince. You really do like Prince Charming, by the way, still in your 20s, Tony, with the carriage and whatever, how you manifested this beautiful relationship in your life. That's a manifestation I want to hear from you, Cristina.
Oh, on how we met?
Well, how you manifested the prince, the carriage, and everything. I've got it, Tony. The prince, the carriage, and the marriage.
That's good. That was good. It's funny. It was just 1, 2, 3, 4, make a wish, and there's a picture on her phone of us in the carriage, of the Cinderella's carriage. So I just looked at it right before you said that. So funny. So there's a precursor to manifestation.
Absolutely.
So how did you manifest that?
On my end, when I was younger, one of the biggest things for a little girl, and a lot of times, not all the time, is just having the fairy tale thoughts in your head. And well before I met Anthony, I was cutting out pictures of different places that I thought were beautiful. The horse and carriage thing was an absolute dream of mine, that I had this whole vision, and every time I went to somebody's wedding, I would really like improve it in my head. I'd be like, I do this differently, or I do this, until I came to this crazy idea of what our wedding would be like. And the reason why I put so much emphasis on the wedding is because, that was a very big deal, especially for, my culture, my background. Marrying your daughters off is like, if you don't, like, they did not succeed in life.
Right. Exactly.
So that's, we had watched my parents' wedding videos all the time. But part of manifesting, is not just knowing what you want, but I was fixated on it. I thought about it all the time. I had it in front of me. So when I saw it, I could identify it, and I was ready to take it. I said, that's what I want, So I think that, when you're manifesting something, it's not to sway. You don't think, oh, I want, a yellow car. And then when you go shopping for yellow cars, you're like, oh, I'll settle for the silver one. No, you're going to get the yellow car.
You wanted the Cadillac man, and you got him.
Right.
It's funny, when I first met her, I had a Cadillac, which is really funny. Really
That's true. Actually, you bought it.
Oh, y'all, you're gonna have to just excuse us as you're listening to this broadcast. We're just having fun. So here, the yellow car, the Cadillac man, and here you are. You've now got a plan.
Yeah, exactly.
And Cristina, yes, you're going to be speaking midday in the social pillar about love, a manifestation of your mind becomes your reality. We're going to take a break. I'm going to talk a little bit about Greece, then come back, just a little bit about Greece. And then we're going to come back and talk about this manifestation, this manifestation of this movie, and how this has come to be. Who has 12 movies in the offing? Well, that's Tony. But before I do this, you give us a shine, Tony, to everybody. People know that we did launch our book, Real Men Are Aware, Awakening the Conscious Male. We launched it this last Tuesday. And I want to just talk about a manifestation. I was looking at the list, and I just want to give you the shine that you deserve, Tony. 25%. Of the men in this book, I love the testosterone, out of the 40 authors are because of you. That is a power of one. Do you know what y'all are? I have a saying. I want to just give you this little deal. You can have, as they say in The Secret, the movie, oh, you complete me? Ooh, that's a mistake. No, you want a whole, and a whole makes a bigger whole. That's what you are, a whole lot of everything together. And this is what I know. Dr. Jim, this one's for you one more time, because he just loves this video. But let's learn about what we're doing in Crete to recreate you in Crete. Yes, our colleague and friend Jamie Kerr created this as Maslow's hierarchy of needs, but it's the health version. So let's just check out, shall we? Where in the world are we going? Do what we do to get what we got. We were on the beach in Boca. Now where? We landed in Crete to recreate you in Crete, Greece. Retreat, renew, revive, come alive. Because energy creates vitality, which transcends into longevity. We're living proof.
You in Crete. Health-A-Pedia 2, the magic of a Mediterranean autumn, September 29th through October 5th. 2025, a Health-A-Pedia experience and life transformation in 6 pillars of health: spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, financial, and social, one pillar at a time. A renewal retreat, cradled in wisdom of the ancients, energetically emerging within the azure Mediterranean seas. This life-changing experience nestled in romantic Grecian Isle of Crete. Dip your feet into the blue waters of the Mediterranean Sea. Retreat, restore, revive, recreate. Feel the waters of life return to you. Restore your living soul. This is the chance of a lifetime. What you experience as you return home, how your energy and vitality of the inner you benefits. That will reward you for all the days of your life. Lose yourself in the history of Greece. Come find yourself at Knossos, the cradle of Western civilization. Because this is where your new story begins.
I had to show that other video. I want to keep
Beautiful.
Dr. Jim as my partner in Health-A-Pedia. If we only just did the cartoon. Hey, Tony and Cristina, you love Disney, so I just had to do it for you. But I tell you, really, really, this is an upgrade for you, as DreamMaker says. So why are you just looking forward to this time, this renewal for the two of you? Cristina, I'm going to start with you. It's ladies before gentlemen. Why are you looking forward to this?
You know, well, for one, I've never been to Greece, and it looks like a beautiful location. Not just because it's beautiful, but also serene. Like, what better way to revitalize yourself than to get away from like the hustle and bustle of everyday life and go to a place where you could, you know, be rejuvenated, because part of that is your environment, you know?
Yes.
And, you know, you and Dr. Jim are really knowledgeable and have the know-how to help people get to the next level of their health. So, and I'm sure the food will be great.
Oh, listen, she said, oh, don't worry. They do. Check this out. I may decide, just like your meatball, to try some of the fish, because they catch the fish daily, and that's what they serve for food.
Yeah, and Italy is the same way. So I know fish is going to be wonderful there.
Yeah,
and frankly, you know, we could do it in Macon, Georgia, and it would be great because it begins with you. So thank you for that beautiful expose. Tony, what comes to mind for you to recreate?
First of all, I never seen that second video. That was absolutely amazing. That looked like a sandals commercial. Like, kudos to you and the team that put that together. That's incredible.
That's kudos to Robert Towns.
That's amazing.
Yes,
Robert, big shout out, buddy. No, congrats. And the first video reminds me of Epcot, you know, Spaceship Earth, like the little guys.
And he did that one too.
I love
that.
He did that one too.
Okay.
I know. I just want to see Dr. Jim wear what his little avatar guy's wearing there. But aside from that, you guys are, all joking aside, you know, you guys, many of you know that may be watching, many of you may not. I went through a healing journey, and you know, for 5.5 years, and I'm even moving into the next level of my health, right? And Dr. Jim and Dr. Dody have been absolutely amazing and instrumental in that. I love them very, very much. And, you know, they've done that with just working with me in Boca, basically, right? I can only imagine having an intensive. These are intensives. If you've ever been in an intensive, you know, like a week long, I've done something similar overseas, which helped tremendously too, thankfully. A quantum experience, even before Dr. Jim and Dr. Dody, but they definitely have helped me to go to the next level, bar none. So I'm very excited about that. There's something about when you create the place and the space, right? And you create the container, right? And you put in the intention and you get the attention, right? To go ahead and basically just focus on yourself to heal, right? And to vibrate at that frequency, to call in that healing and to live in the most optimal version of yourself, and to be guided, no different than a guided meditation. This is what these guys do. You know, and at the end of the day, they have, you know, I hate to say it this way, I don't mean it in a way that's derogative because it looked phenomenal, but, you know, they have 150 years almost of knowledge combined, these two, and they're beyond ridiculous. And they both look like movie stars, by the way, as you know. But but to actually take that and, you know, apply it and to make that application, you know, knowledge is not power. Accurate knowledge is not even powered, but applied accurate knowledge is powered. If you come and if you actually play full out and actually apply what you learn when you come home, and it becomes not something you do, something you are, you will reach the next highest level of your life, no doubt about it. in my opinion.
And it's intention. I'm going to just put this, and what did you say? You said intention, but then you give it attention.
Correct.
It's because you attracted the thing that's going to give your intention. So if you're out there, because it is a very intimate group, because Jim and I created this for this reason. We want to create a hub because our Savior had 12. I said to Jim, I think you need a little more than 12. I don't want to deify you. Okay. So we need a little few more than 12. But the idea then this can be impactful as the hub of the wheel. So it goes out. That's our intention with this. And it's already happening. I mean, how can you have, I'm just going to tell you, I've got a spreadsheet with 44 tabs on it. Okay. That's what we got for the run sheet. That's what we're doing because it's all about recreating you in Crete. And when we do that in 6 pillars, what will happen? A stronger, better version of you. As people say, well, what is the process? What is healthy living? Increased intelligence. Let's raise our, do we all want that? Let's play along. Cristina and Tony. Yes. Raise our hands. Yes, of course. Do we want extended longevity? Absolutely. At 71. I want to have, oh, what fun. Till I'm 100, I can be like this. Why not? Why not be like Benjamin?
More.
Yes.
More.
And be like this and then retire at 100. That makes more sense. And then go ahead for that third and increase productivity with less energy because we only have a finite amount of energy. So the energy, Tony and Cristina, that you put into this latest project, and I'm absolutely humbled and honored because you took a chance on me because you saw something. Remember, I had no website. I had a practice. People found me, as I've always said to Jim, I wish people would find me when we're not the last resort. Like the first resort would be really fun, but it was always the last resort, complex situations. That's what we've both done. Of course, his level is here, mine's here, but I'm honored to say that I've studied and I've been his student for all these many years. Well, you saw something in me. This was shortly after my husband graduated to heaven, my big bear. And I didn't know whether, Tony and Cristina, that I could sit in this chair and talk about that. Tony, you gave me the biggest gift because, ladies and gentlemen, this is what they do. They believe in people. Only way I know how to say that, you do. And it comes from the heart. It's just like what you said up at the Hamptons. You are so authentic, even in your no tennis shoes at all, Cristina. And I expect to see those tennis shoes in Greece because you've got to ground yourself. So just bring a pair, not platform like Keds, the Keds tennis shoes. I want to see them. So, Tony, go text me whatever her size of shoe is, and I'll bring an extra pair. Okay.
Yeah, we might. I don't know if she owns them. We might have to buy them, but yeah.
I think you might have to buy them. But all, as you would say, Tony, no kidding aside, I just want to show you what's coming in the world of manifestation in next year, which is just around the corner, 2026. Let's take a close clip, take a feel, take a listen, and take a look. I've never done this before, but I think I know how it works. Let's see. Now, I just want to say, yay me, I figured out how to use an extra screen when I don't have my producer back here. That was exciting. So the Art of Manifestation film.com. How did that feel to see that on the screen, Tony and Cristina?
No, it's really, really cool. Big shout out to Chad and Holly Oxtat, some of the best funnel builders in the world. They did that trailer as well too. They launched everything for our Hamptons event that we just did with Andrea and the Rockefellers and the crew. It came out beautiful, and there's a lot more behind it. That's just a teaser trailer. And do you want me to dive a little bit into it, or into
Yeah,
the film?
we've got 9 minutes, so dive into it and give us a little. This is okay. You know how when you did your movie Beyond the Secret, let's go beyond the manifestation. Let's dive in a little bit. Okay?
No, it's cool. I sip before me one of our products that will come from the Art of Manifestation from this movie are these cards, right? These manifestation cards. And I'm looking at a card right now, right? And it says, ask yourself, what would the most empowered version of myself be today, right? So when Tony Robbins talks about if you want a better answer, right, to life, you got to ask a better question, right? And it really just starts. I mean, life's a mirror, you get what you project. And I've had the honor, along with my beautiful wife here, to really become friends with some of the top, we'll say, gurus, or for lack of a better word, in the world that are these co-creators in life, right? The majority of the guys from The Secret, Bruce Lipton, Marissa Peer, Marie Diamond, Reverend Michael Beckwith, these amazing human beings, Joe Vitale, right? John DeMartini, our dear buddy, Donna Parker, his lovely significant other. She's amazing. These human beings have co-created the world, right? And so many have. And you're manifesting whether you think you are or not every day. The people that, walk around with a vibration of anger will always find through that lens something to be more angry about, right? You always get what you project.
And what is that? Okay, so when you feel this way, I got to do this, because we either regenerate or degenerate. Frustration is the beginning, and it goes to depression, then anger, hatred, disease, and the rest. You catch yourself, bring yourself back up in gratitude. Your future self will really be happy. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're doing these movies, about 6 or 7 of them. Like 7 of them are in the conscious space. Some are scripted, and even the Frequency of Miracles. All those guys that I just mentioned are within our films, thankfully. And we're talking to many more amazing human beings. Yourself, Dr. Jim. It's one of these things that people. The Art of Manifestation was put together for people to really actually, believe it or not, learn the Art of Manifestation. And it is an art, and there's a science there. We have quantum biologists from Harvard and Stanford, and also HeartMath that speak about this, that come in and speak about where the science meet the spirituality, the intersecting point, right? We have all that. This is not 16 years ago when the original Secret came out, which it did a great job, and they really raised a lot of awareness. But there's a lot more science now to actually back it up. Joe Dispenza, Donna Parker was just with Joe the other day, with John DeMartini, and Joe, amazing guy. I've had the honor of working with Joe. Joe turned me on to modalities that I did during the healing journey. I love Joe. I think he's amazing. He's proven, with his, Dr. Toby, his neuroscientist, and his team, of what really happens when you can quantifiably measure the quantum. And we have the ability to tap into it, right? It's there. We have the ability to co-create, and it's a beautiful thing. And so this movie really teaches people like how to co-create their life, right? What it's like to be aligned, what it's like to step into that vibration, right, of wholeness and, being congruent. And if they're not happy in any aspect of life, any F of life that we spoke about earlier, from the fitness to the family to the finances or whatever that might be, right? That, how to really change that, how to change it like that, and how to go back into beta, like how you were when you were newborn to 7 years old, where you just absorbed everything. The great news is you learned 4, 5, 6 languages without even thinking, because there wasn't the prefrontal cortex. There was no gatekeeper yet. The not great news is you got, you absorbed everything, right? So some things may not have been serving you. And how to rewrite that now, as you do age and as you get older. It's in us, right? We have the ability, like Joe spoke about in the movie Source, it's within us. We have the ability to do that. So I'm very excited to put this together. Yeah, bring this to the world.
Within, so without. So without, so within, above,
so below,
low, above. And that whole thing with alignment, we got to give a shout out to Dr. Jim, my partner in Health-A-Pedia, my teacher and co-founder when Myopractic, who would do and create at 29 years old, a absolute recognizable arm of medical science in alignment. But it doesn't start with the spine. It starts with the breath and the organs. You're breathing breath into this Art of Manifestation. As you said, who, why, what, how. So let's wrap this all together, because we could be here for another hour. I don't know when, Cristina, that I've been on the phone with the two of you for an hour, and y'all are just going to have to get over it. Mindset Monday is usually 30 minutes. I knew that was long ago. We just had to do that. That was gone with the first question, and I'm so grateful. All I'm going to say is this: go get the book. You want it. Do you know why? And I'll tell you. Ooh, and it says, okay, listen to your body. It will tell you what it needs. See, what is inside of here? Cristina, you may not even know this. All the quotes from all 80 of our Health-A-Pedia authors are in this book. All 80 of them have their quotes. Then we put a quip, which is a condensed chapter. Eric, the beautiful Eric, quote master, is spiritual. Then we go into mental with Renee Brown. Then physical, Dr. Jim Marinakis, where he talks about the art of how he was no admiral, proves his true worth in a calm sea. He wasn't. He's been a warrior. Then we go to emotional with Karen Rudolph. Dame Doria Cordova, our beautiful Dame Doria Cordova, money in you, woman, in financial, and I wrap up social with the right robe. But you've got this. And what I'm going to just give, before I come back to a question, I've just got to give Eric one more shout, because this really says the epitome. As we wrote, welcome to the tasty world of this latte book. This collaborative concept is tying education and society with community, and are truly the quintessential pieces, as our title said, of a spirit-led effort between the Quantum River, his company, and Health-A-Pedia, mine and ours. For when you read each inspired quote and quip, you will immerse yourself into your own discovery. Just like my quote says, life is like a milkshake. Choose your ingredients wisely, and when you do, life will be oh so sweet. The latte possesses all the ingredients of you, your life, with your own coffee and cream. Isn't that manifestation? It is now, isn't it?
Love that. Love that.
So, Cristina, what is your last piece of wisdom about your whoa manifestation? Please share.
Well, I think the best thing, because it's a handful, is just go to the website, theartofmanifestationfilm.com, watch the movie, because there's going to be a lot of insight in there on how to manifest. And the last thing that I'm going to say regarding manifesting, that's probably the most powerful thing, in my opinion, is you are manifesting what you are. So if you want to manifest something, you have to go into the literal vibration or frequency of what it is that you want to manifest. Yeah. So you have to change you to manifest it. It's not just a thought.
There we go. Love that. Oh, just deep and earthy. Okay, Tony, what is your airy? But you're not airy fairy, okay? But it's your air. You're the visionary. Oh, visionary. That fits. You can use that one later on too. So, what is your last piece of wisdom, Tony?
I think the last piece of wisdom. So I would say 3 things really quick. Number one is that if you're not happy in every aspect of your life, you don't have to wait for New Year's. You don't have to wait where 97% of people by the third Monday, they call it Blue Monday, stop their resolution, right? You don't have to wait for that little window of time for that 20 to 21 day period. You can do it now. You can literally, prep right before we go into the fourth quarter to make a decision and consciously choose to live a life, of alignment, right? And if you're not happy with any aspect of your life, you have the ability to change it. I believe that starts with 2 things. Number one is a decision. Number 2, I would go to a place like Greece, right, where you get to recreate and create, where you get to actually learn modalities and actually get to apply them, when you get to step into that vibration. Number 2, I would share, if everybody can kindly watching, and again, thank you for all this. You, Dr. Jim, we love you. You are a brother, you are and sister. We love you so much. The Art of ManifestationFilm.com. We're going to have other domain names too. We have a bunch of them. We're playing with this one right now. The Art of ManifestationFilm.com. If you go and opt in, there's an opt-in. You'll get a free gift. It's a manifestation planner. You'll get updates on the movies. We're going to launch end of Q1, beginning of Q2. We're going to give away some tickets at either Universal Studios, the famous Universal Studios, where we'll do our premiere, or the Urban Spectrum, also very famous out there in California. And we have some amazing gifts and things coming, and we're so excited to keep everyone updated. But make a conscious choice, right? And live congruent with that choice, right? Become the person that you want to be by acting as if you're already that. And eventually you will align and you will become that. And do it specifically right before you go to bed, that last hour when you're in theta and that first hour when you wake up. That is when the gatekeeper's sleeping and you get to marinate on it for 8 hours and you eventually will become who you want to become.
And you're becoming, because we're spiritual beings in a human experience.
Yep.
Cristina and Tony, thank you. You had a gazillion things, just like your gazillion contacts. Like, here's the phone that you could have done. But when you said, I've heard you say that so many times, it's not the who, the why, the what, the how, but is where are you at for your traction, for attraction? That's where you at? Where was I at? Where was I at with the phone with my mother? I was at that place. Where was I at when my son had those crocodile tears? Where was I at when COVID hit? That attraction will give you the traction to get you where you want to be at that time in your life, which is truly manifestation. And guys, you're like my fourth and fifth kids. All right. Let me tell you what Jamie said in this quote when we started with our adventure in Crete, Greece. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with a team. But if you want to go fast and far, go with the right people. Cristina, my dearest Cristina, author, speaker, extraordinary planner, as you say, the Simon Cowell, but you're much better looking. You're much more beautiful. And Tony, the not airy, but the visionaire extraordinaire. You are those right people. So, as I say, in every single kind of day, make it a great Health-A-Pedia kind of day. It's all in your mind. Manifest what you want, as Les Brown said, because it is necessary for you to do what only you can do. Do it as though your life depends on it, because at the end of the day, it really does. So thank you for being here. I love you. I adore you. And let's just get ready, Cristina, to woman up in Crete, Greece.
Love you.
Woman up, 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 pull it together. Where's the tough, 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 tough girl that you let go and get up? Time to get your ass back on track. Wake up, girl, you better. Woman up, woman up.